Hey guys, Paul here with Late Night Games. It is the 7th of April, Tuesday, the 7th day of our VEDA challenge. And today I want to talk about two things I came across today that were extremely ambitious. The first is I sat down with my mother for a few minutes as I was on my way downstairs to record the vlog and watch the movie that she was watching. Now, I didn't know what the movie was when I first sat down, but I sat down just to see what it was, spend a few minutes with her, and I noticed that every once in a while, as it would change to a new part of the story, it would skip ahead a few years, and the characters were changing. Now, I just thought it was makeup and effects and letting them grow their hair differently for different scenes to make it appear the time had passed. But it turns out the movie that she was watching was Boyhood. Now, for those of you who don't know, Boyhood is a movie that they started making in 2002 with a group of actors, and they finished it in 2014. And it tells the story of a boy aging from, like, his childhood to being an adult. And they use the same actors over the course of this time. When he's 11 in the movie, the actor's 11. When he's 14 in the movie, the actor's 14. And they had these same actors work on this project for 12 years. Can you imagine 12 years working the same job on the same movie set, not knowing whether or not the movie is actually, one, ever going to be finished, and two, if it's actually going to succeed or not? I mean, imagine they're halfway through making it, then the kid gets hit by a car. That's a rather abrupt ending to their movie now, isn't it? They can't go and replace the actors. That goes against the whole concept of what this story is. I don't think I've ever had a story that I've wanted to tell so badly that I would spend 12 years and work with the same group of people for 12 years to make it a thing, but if I did, that is one hell of a way to tell it. Now, the thing with this movie is, I'd heard about it only because I heard of how it was made and how abnormal this was. But I didn't actually know when the movie came out. No one had told me, hey, Boyhood's out, let's go see it in theaters. It did get a theatrical release in 2014, but I didn't notice. And I honestly don't know how well the movie succeeded. And if it didn't succeed very well, I feel really bad. But regardless, it's something that I think will last through generations just because it is such a huge undertaking to make this one film. But that's not the only ambitious thing I've come across today. The second thing I want to mention today is an article I was reading on Yahoo, I think it was. Because Yahoo News is still a thing, apparently. Do you remember using Yahoo for email way back in the day? If any of you are old enough to remember using Yahoo as a source of mail. Yahoo! But it just goes to show how much bigger Google is versus the Yahoo of its time. Because Yahoo, you didn't say, I'm going to go Yahoo this, or go Yahoo this term, or I'm going to Yahoo some information. No, it's I'm going to search, I'm going to look up. But ever since Google came out, I'm going to Google that. Can I Google that? Yeah, let me just Google it. But back to what I had read on Yahoo. And what I was reading was an article from a higher up at NASA who's making some very ambitious claims. He's saying that we should be finding indicators of life within the next 20 years and concrete evidence of it within the next 30. Now, he was going on to say, we have the tools, we have the technology, we know what we're looking for, it's just a matter of time. But do we really know what we're looking for? I mean, all we know about is the life on Earth. We use Earth as a gauge to the other life in the universe. We look for planets in the Goldilocks zone, which is the same range from the sun as Earth is, or relative range for size of sun. Either way, somewhere that would be around the same temperature as Earth. We look for places that have liquid water. We look for places where Earth-like life can evolve. But is that the only life that we're going to find out there is Earth-like life? I mean, the article didn't go into details as to how exactly they're searching. Are they searching for carbon footprints? Are they just looking for water? Are they just looking for range from the sun? Are they looking for certain combinations of it? Is there something in addition, like nitrogen in the atmosphere they're looking for? Because a lot of organic life does give off high amounts of nitrogen as part of, the whole process of living. But I really do hope they find life. I mean, I've always said the idea of all those stars and all the universe being out there with all those planets and us being the only one that has life on it is an asinine assumption. You can't really fathom that there can be that much out there but no other life. Because the universe is so old and we've only been looking at the sky for a brief but moment in the history of the universe. Hell, a brief moment in the history of Earth, which isn't even near as old as the universe itself. So who's to say we aren't looking for life that doesn't exist anymore because it came and went long before we were even a thought? Or the life we're looking for exists right now, but it exists millions of light years away, so we're looking millions of light years away, we are seeing millions of years ago, because that's how light years work, and we're seeing the planets that have life on them right now, but we're seeing them at a time before the life existed. So we could be looking at the stars directly at another creature that's looking directly back at us, and they won't know, and we won't know for millions of years. Blows my mind to think of. But I think the day that we find concrete evidence of life on other planets is going to be something that unites this planet much more than anything else we've run into at this point, much more than any other event in our history, and I want to be alive for that moment. My predecessors were alive for when man first walked on the moon and those first steps, and those were very momentous. But the day we discover that there is other life out there, even if it's not intelligent, that's still such a discovery. And it won't be discovering that there is life, it's discovering the life itself so we can show people. Because I honestly believe it's already out there, or has been out there. We just don't see it yet. This same article was also saying how NASA's hoping to have astronauts on Mars by the time 2030s come around, and they're hoping to have another rover down in the 2020s. So within the next 20 years, man should be stepping on Mars. I want to be around for that. I want to see that. I want to sit there on the live stream of a holographic television that we have then, because God knows what we'll be watching stuff on at that point. Or the feed will be sent directly into our eyeballs. Who knows? All I know is I want to be there for it. But that's really all I have to talk about today. I'm still feeling a little under the weather, so I am going to get some rest. My mother's still fairly sick, so I'm going to try and stay off the computer and off the video game so I can take care of her a bit, so I may not be available online as much as I normally am. That and, work, because I still do need to work. But either way, this is me signing off. I will see you next time, guys, and take care.